Welcome back to the series where we explore the best of the local trails, what to see and what to do. This week, we talk about real estate, pizza, and cream. I'm Dan, and this is On Skates. We'll be in Burlington. Before we get started, it's important to know that even though I'll be using inline skates on this journey, everyone is welcome to come along. And of course, all the trails we visit will be home to longboarders. After they mow the grass, entire families of bicycles, northern impalas, and creatures with 15 legs and 4 buttholes. Well, it's a 3-legged dog with 3 of her friends. It's a place to walk your toddlers in a wagon. It's a place to walk your grandparents. Or to walk your newborn with the happiest dog you've ever seen. It's also important to note that everywhere we go today, with only the exception of a couple places, will be made easy by the use of accessible, friendly features, like the accessible ramps instead of staircases, or the gentle grades before a street crossing. And of course handrails next to the accessible ramps. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Now remember, this is Ontario, so somebody's going to buy the house you grew up in, tear it down, and then they'll put up a house that takes up a little bit more real estate than the old one did. Strangely enough, inline skates have their own problem. Where a bicycle only needs as much space as the handlebars are wide, inline skates consume as much real estate as a hippopotamus. And that can be a problem.
These bike lanes are fun, but you need to keep your feet inside the white lines at all times, or a passing car will bite your ankles harder than the neighborhood terrier.
If you're lucky enough to live in a town where they pave next to the sidewalk, it can be quite nice so you're not pounding your feet off the expansion joints. But if they don't pave it wide enough, you're slipping on the grass all day like that.
When the width of the pathway goes from 54 inches to something closer to 6 feet wide, let me show you what that feels like. And when you don't use the pathway at all, upper deck, my dear.
That's why sometimes I like skating these traffic calm subdivisions outside of Toronto, so you can use all the space you want out here. This subdivision doesn't even have any sidewalks. And the other nice thing about rollerblades is you can really slow it down and enjoy some of the scenery. Unlike if a bicycle goes through your neighborhood slowly, they're probably looking to steal something. If a rollerblader goes through your neighborhood, hey, who the hell's on rollerblades?
I think it's time we found a trail that doesn't involve a bicycle lane or the neighborhood subdivision. That's why you might want to come here, the town of Burlington. 30 minutes from the Toronto airport, as long as the traffic's good. Just 5 minutes off the highway, you'll find a park called Sherwood Forest. And within that park, you'll find spaces for more than 150 cars, all free of course. A playground for the kiddos, a pavilion, even a place to piss. Although, not today. Baseball fields, benches all around, and a buff people only zone. And right at the edge of where you drove in,
here's where it starts, 8.6 kilometers from downtown.
A quick look at the map on my right, your left of course. You'll see the trail is 8.6 kilometers as mentioned. Google tells us it's about a 30-minute bicycle ride, and total elevation drop of 20 meters. Surface quality is a 4 out of 5. It is some of the best pavement you'll find anywhere on this rollerblading journey, but there are a couple sections that need some refreshing. Difficulty is a blue, Although mostly flat, there are 2 or 3 hills which require a little bit of attention and some use of brake if you are a beginner.
I get it. You're a little bit tired from last night. You need some motivation. So call up your favorite pizza shop downtown. Order one up. It's only 20 minutes away.
It's up in.
Give me something with meat.
Have you been drinking something?
And if that's not enough motivation for you, I got a good idea. There's a couple of tough bastards over at the lifting gym, or the calisthenics gym. Hey, you bunch of sissies, work a little harder.
Who knows what sort of gravity-based torture they would have done to me. Around the corner of the pathway to the first hill. Across the bridge. Up the other side. And there you are, greeted with plane after plane of some of the smoothest pavement you will find. Average width between 10 and 12 feet. Kids on bikes, except there's nothing to steal out here. It's a good idea to take your time around the blind corners. You never know when a hippopotamus might be coming the other way. Up another short hill and another stretch of uninterrupted trail. So wide, you can skate side by side with a buddy, or backwards if you want.
That first section, although only 2 kilometers, you may just want to stick there if you have small kids with you so you can avoid the street crossing.
Otherwise, on this side of the street, you have a place for ice cream and coffee for Mom. Both accessible without crossing the road. Or, if you do want to cross the street, remember, you have a pizza in the oven. But maybe not.
If it's holiday Monday and all your favorite shops downtown are closed, you can always stop into the Big M. McDonald's? Fuck no. Mary Brown's.
One of the most beautiful things about rollerblading is the inherently smooth nature of it. And both hands are free. You can eat on the go, with the wind blowing through your hair, munching down on a Big Mary. Don't ever do this. You'll choke and die. Back on the trail, see a terrier try to eat a child. Jump for the kids if they're on bicycles. And your typical neighborhood street crossing. And again, another stretch of uninterrupted trail. Cross the bridge, past some more baseball fields. See a squirrel try to fry his nuts. Hey, what are you doing in those bushes?
Now save your energy for when you see the mailboxes, because this next section is pretty fun.
A recently refinished section of the trail. I feel like they put these curves in here for no reason other than to give some variety. Although that was pretty quick. That didn't really give you a good sense of speed, but this should do it. Although I lost the audio for this clip. I think it went something like this. Coming through, coming through, coming through, coming through, coming through, coming through. Burst across the road at full speed if you're comfortable, and a short hill to descend with a flat run out at the bottom. Get to the fork, turn left, head up the street, cross the street once, and then you're back in the woods again. Now, back on the trail, covered by a canopy of the woods. The tree roots have long stretched underneath the pavement and created these natural speed bumps. Although not the most ideal, you can use it to your benefit to practice your one-footed balance.
After you exit the bumpy woods, this is about the only street crossing you have to worry about if you have small kids. There is no crossing light here, and in Ontario, it's the cars basically have the right of way. So if it's a particularly busy day, don't be afraid to come up the street and then cross at the lights and then come back down to the trail. It's only an extra 50 meters each way maybe.
Back in the woods, see a squirrel, see a whole bunch of people blocking the trail, and a straight shot to the light at the end of the tunnel. A long, not so steep hill to descend, and you reach the end of this section. A quick look at the map on your right when you leave, see where you're at. Head up the street, round the corner, and there it is, no more than 100 meters from the end of the trail, downtown Burlington. Population, 200,000. Small city feel, small city friendliness, and something about a big city vibe. Nighttime or daytime, there's always something to do. Because you're on rollerblades, when you're not actively skating, they take up no more room than a pair of boots. You can explore different parts of the city that you might not be able to on a bicycle. Like Village Square, considered the heart of town, with nearly 40 shops and services. The most important being a phone booth, so you can call your parents. Tell them that you're a rollerblader. Oh yeah, did I mention? Burlington has a waterfront. And a damn good one at that. You're allowed on the pier with your rollerblades, so be respectful. I hate tearing down no rollerblading signs. Climb the tower and watch the jet skis almost smash into each other. Or just look back and admire the city. Scale the ramps back to the downtown and go berserk. Just far enough outside of Toronto, the traffic is light, but most drivers are aware of pedestrian traffic. This makes it an excellent city to practice your urban skating. Hop off the curb, don't squish the caterpillar. Cut behind a car, go right up the middle of the street. Visit the town portal. Go back in time to when rollerblading was cool. Two blocks up from the water, the streets are usually clear, so you can safely blow through all the four-way stops. But make sure you practice your stopping skills before doing that. In 3 minutes, you can cross the entire downtown section with ease.
If you get here early enough, there's a place called Sunshine Donuts. Usually they sell out every day.
I'm always excited when a new donut shop opens up. My favorite one to order is a Boston cream with the cream sucked out of it. You can only order that once, and then you're never allowed back. Was that a giant donut? It sure was.
Sold out. Just kidding.
that donut outside by the giant donut. Or like I said before, both hands are free. Since you're on rollerblades, the waterfront is only 30 seconds away.
Bring that coffee and donut down to the waterfront for a picnic.
You can get there while your coffee is still hot. I absolutely love this giant anchor chain used as a railing. Grab a bench anywhere. There's an unlimited number of them. Enjoy the donut. Ow. 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 Skate back alongside the brown lake water.
If all that brown Lake Ontario water makes you need to take a shit, there's a few outhouses down here as well.
They're typically in season from early spring to mid-fall, so if you come in the winter, you'll have to get creative with the garbage bin. Back up into town, an LCBO. Head on inside, grab yourself a couple of road rockets, trail rockets. But before you leave the store, make sure they're the non-alcoholic type. Drinking in public is illegal. That should do it. 0.5%. I nearly got suspended in high school for drinking that stuff. Back out on the road, a place for performance-enhancing clothing, performance-enhancing cannabis, all the goodies. Now that you're as hungry and horny as a hippo, you forgot about that pizza you ordered. Good thing these guys always have slices on the ready. I do highly recommend their order service though. Like I said, you're on rollerblades, so the water is only 30 seconds away. Grab another bench, take those skates off. This time, on the pier or the shoreline. Or if you like to spend even more money, there's some fancier stuff around too. One of my favorite things to do is grab a full pizza to yourself from any of the pizza shops. The pier we looked at earlier is always lit, sometimes with themes based on holidays or world events. You can check the color schedule on Burlington's website, laid out for the entire year. No better way to finish off a hot summer night than with an ice cream cone from the creamery. If you're not dead yet, there's another section of the trail I recommend. It starts in Spencer Smith Park, which we did touch on earlier today. It follows along the water for another 3.6 kilometers, and it's all part of the $17 million Burlington Waterfront Development Plan. Although bricks and pathways don't clean up the lake water, they sure do make it more enjoyable to look at. And to me, it seems like this investment was well received. Typical foot traffic for an evening or weekend? Packed.
As you leave Spencer Smith Park and head on down the pathway, maybe your heart decides that was one too many donuts this year. Well, that's all right, because you're right beside the Joseph Brant Hospital.
Maybe you can fake a heart attack and pick up one of those good-looking nurses. More parking along the beach. Halton residents only in peak summer. Look out for the sand piles. Further down, you'll find public bathrooms and showers. Nicer than the one I have at home. And you need one. I saw what you did in that outhouse back there. Access to the beach from here if you do want to cool off. The trail splits. Left is the dirt, right is the pavement.
I'll stick to the paved route, unless your mom is down there, because she's so ugly she'll make a train take a dirt road.
The trail does split again. You'll be forced to take the sidewalk or bike path down the road for another 300 meters, and then do a dead-end street, where the paved trail meets up with the dirt section. Climb a hill, descend a hill, around the corner, under the bridge. And for anybody who's played Half-Life 2, this place might feel familiar. The Burlington Skyway. Well, this section first opened in 1958. Now with cameras to make sure you're not sucking the cream out of donuts. A historical piece of engineering artwork, which generates much castigation for the second plain-looking bridge opened beside it in 1985. Instead of hanging out by the bridge, you must be getting thirsty by now.
Skate out to the end of the pier by the lighthouse. You can watch the sun go down while you have one of those beers that you bought earlier.
You can't drink that out here.
Don't worry, they're non-alcoholic.
Oh. All right then.
And because the pier is in the middle of the water like this, with no horizon other than what's beyond the bridge there, you get these beautiful sunsets that are damn near 360 degrees.
So we sit on the concrete structure at the end of the pier, watch the people come and go, and the sky changes from pink to orange to red, and then to black. It's time. Time to head back on the pathway. In the darkness, just me and the flashlight, with the never-ending glow of Toronto in the distance. I take some time to reflect on all the other trail users we've seen on our day. My skates vibrate over the steel bridge where a hippopotamus once walked. It comes clear, these trails are not just excellent for inline skating, but, most importantly, it's a place outdoors for those who can't exactly wear a pair of inline skates. Although no one wanted to be seen on camera beside a rollerblader, the common theme was that these trails provide a safe and quiet place to enjoy the outdoors, in nature, away from the busy and noisy street traffic. And the smooth asphalt trails cut down on the thumping that would naturally be transferred from the sidewalk expansion joints. A place to see wildlife, since they can't exactly hike the cliffs of the Niagara Escarpment. A place to meet people in the community. Maybe something else you missed. Since the trails are paved, they're mud-free year-round and dry literally 2 hours after a summer rainstorm. So whenever I hear of a town debating if they should pave the communal access paths, I scratch my head in disbelief. And then I finally arrive back to the parking lot to find someone else looking for a slice of pizza. And I ask him, "What the fox say?" And he replied, "If we first look after the rollerbladers, everybody will benefit." Sorry, I said that backwards. First we take care of accessibility, and everybody benefits. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe below. You get notifications when the next one comes out. And one thing I should mention, any of the views or opinions shared here today are not necessarily those of any of the businesses that you saw in the video. But with that said, if you own a business along any of the upcoming trails that was mentioned in the opener video, and you want to be featured in the upcoming video, send me a message. I'll fit you in. And by the way, we're going to come back to Burlington for the second time because there are some feeder trails just off the main trail which are definitely worth a skate. So, until next time.